Transmitting every Sunday from the mountains of West Virginia, it's Let's Find Out with Diego. Available on all your favorite platforms.
Warning. The following program may contain material not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The borders of space and time have opened once again. And transmitting from the mountains of West Virginia, it's time once again for Let's Find Out with Diego. The universe is waiting for you. Wake up and remember.
On this episode of Let's Find Out, from the heart of the Midwest, Graveyard Roots Paranormal has been deep in the trenches of the unknown since 2019. From private residences and decaying buildings to the silent rows of local graveyards, they've dedicated years to investigating and researching the stories others are too afraid to hear. They go in to give the spirits a voice, but sometimes these spirits have more to say than anyone bargained for. We're going to take a look behind the veil to find out exactly what's going on at these locations. All this plus more. Please welcome our new friends and first-time guests. They are Graveyard Roots Paranormal. Friends, welcome to Let's Find Out.
Hello.
All right, man. I've been having a conversation with you before we started recording, but for the benefits of our friends, the listeners of Let's Find Out, would you mind introducing yourselves? Other than the dog, because I got four. They'll be making an appearance soon, so whatever order, please introduce yourselves.
All right. My name's Russell Edwards. I'm the lead investigator of the group and founder of the group.
My name's Shelby.
I'm Tank. I'm also an investigator. I do our videos, all the editing. What else? I do a little bit of this and that.
Setting stuff up. Giving us ideas where to go next, where we should look, stuff like that.
All right. Now, returning guests in the middle, go ahead and introduce yourselves to our friends, the listeners.
I'm Jim. I don't know. I guess you could say I'm a little bit of a location scout, and just kind of go along with the ride.
Excellent. So everybody has their expertise on the team. You know, one is a location scout, one does the videos, one does research, and the other one's probably the one brave enough to go out there with a camera while everybody stays behind, perhaps. I don't know if that's true, but I understand this group started about 2019. And we're going to definitely talk about that. But before we get into that, my friends, I know on an individual basis, you all have your own stories. So in however order you'd like to start, what brought you into the world of paranormal investigations? What experience opened that door for you? So whoever wants to start first.
So, my very first experience with the paranormal, I was 16, and I was laying on my living room couch. Nobody else was home, and I woke up. It was dark, and there's a lady going across my living room in like an old Victorian dress, and goes through the dining room and into where the bathroom and bedrooms are. And I'm like, by this time I'm wide awake. And so I got up and I'm like, hello. And went in there, nothing there. And previous to that, I'd just kind of always been that kid that was, curious about death. And I always liked skulls and all that stuff. But then once I saw that with my own eyes, I'm like, okay, I gotta see what this is all about, because obviously there's something. So that was my first experience.
One of many, I'm sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And then,
the big thing that got me into the paranormal was the bunk beds episode of Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know if you know that one or not, but It was enough to like get my imagination going. Then in college, I spent a summer renting out a room at a fraternity house and woke up with an African American gentleman standing over me smiling. And I sat bolt upright and he was gone. My room was locked. I checked everywhere. There was nothing there. And ever since then, I've been trying to, I guess, re-experience that. But, several experiences since then, but that was the one that really tipped it off.
All right, go ahead, Shelby. I know you have something good.
Well, I started off just watching YouTube videos of other people going out and investigating and everything, and that piqued my interest. And of course, I was, I don't know, probably 14 or something, and I see a Ouija board in a store. So I went and I tried that, and I think I invited something I didn't really want to in my house, because that's when everything started kind of happening, and I would hear like low growling noises, and I started getting sleep paralysis and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. But that really just piqued my interest even more in it, and I would say that's really how I started with it. I was like, I want to see if this is like real. I want to see what's going on with this, So I'm probably not the safest route, but
It's an interesting introduction to the world.
yeah.
So.
Yeah. But I was like, I like that. Like, yeah. I like it. I want to investigate more, see what I can find out,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, when I was in my younger days, this is a long time ago, very long. I won't give away, but it's not like today. You could probably, when you go to these events, you'll see people who make Ouija boards from, homemade, or other companies will make them. They used to sell these at Toys R Us, and it was Parker Brothers had a Ouija board. Yep. And I used to think, this is the strangest thing to find at a toy store. Didn't stop anybody though, but it sold very well. But that's a different story. But I have my own story about Ouija boards. Maybe on the next time I have you on, we'll talk about it. So my man in the back, I know you have a lot of experience with that as well.
Oh yeah, one was at a cousin's house in the attic with a Ouija board. It decided my cousin was being rude because he was like non-believing and everything. Was discounting the situation, and all of a sudden the walls bursted into flames and the doors slammed shut, and until he agreed that it was real, we were completely scared. And then once he admitted to it being real, the flames went away, the door popped open, there was nobody in the house but us, and we decided not to mess with the Ouija board ever again. I'll bring it up from time to time, but nobody in my family, even the other 3 cousins that were there, nobody will talk about it.
Yeah, I was going to say the story. I'll tell you the story. It's also a cousin. It's always a cousin, right? Sometimes about cousins, they don't act right when they're around family, right?
Nope, never do.
Especially the ones from the other side of the tracks. So we were messing around with the Ouija board, and I was a younger kid. I went and watched cartoons or something. And then I heard this scream coming down the hallway, right? I'm peeking to the side. What's going on here? So as the plastic piece was moving on the board, right? As they're screaming, he puts his hands up, but that piece would not leave his hand. Trying to shake it off and throw it, it would not leave him. Something happened in there that really upset whatever they contacted. And just like you, they don't talk about it to this day. I think it's one of those very traumatizing moments that people would rather never bring up again, just in case, right?
I think that's what it did to them. It shocked them that and even now when I tell them I'm a ghost hunter, they don't understand why I would even want to do it.
And that's perfectly normal, because I'll say the outside world, living the life they're living, they don't really think about spiritual matters much until it happens to them. Yeah. Or just like a lot of folks also, they'll see it on television, and we can pick and choose which shows, that's a whole different thing. And eventually when people find out what it is that you're doing, they'll pull you to the side. It could be at work. It could be anywhere. Say, hey, I got my own experiences. You got to sit down and listen to them. And they start opening up. You ever had that kind of experience?
Oh yeah.
Well, I work at Ace Hardware, Park Fair Mall in Des Moines, and oh yeah, I've got people come in and they've got to tell their story and everything, and we let them know that right then and there that the mall that they're standing in is actually haunted.
It absolutely is. Absolutely is.
Well, let's get into that. And I might have missed it. You might have mentioned the name of the mall. What's the name of the mall?
Park Fair Mall.
What's going on there? I know that.
I think it stems from back in 1923. There's an old cold case that happened with a brother and his sister where they believe a miner came in from somewhere on a train and killed the sister and the brother and then left on the train. Nobody has ever been sentenced for it. Nothing has ever been found. Nothing about it, but we believe that the spirits of the brother and the sister are still on that property because the last footprint they found from them was on that property.
And to this day, nobody talks about this.
No, it's kept hush hush pretty well.
One would think that there's a little bit more to this story as to why things keep hush hush, and not to get ourselves in trouble. We might want to let that one go. But which brings me, something like that would have wound up in Unsolved Mysteries. Now, when I watched Unsolved Mystery, you mentioned it earlier, I watched it during the Robert Stack days. Is that the time? Yeah, he was the perfect guy for that show.
Oh yeah.
So 2019 came in and the group formed. So how did we meet? How did this group form? Because when you form a team, everybody has to have what I would say the same value, same mission, same purpose. So how did the perfect storm come about and you guys are the team you are today?
Well, I was, of course, I grew up in a house that was active. A guy had died in the bathtub and sat there for 3 months before somebody had found him. And so he stayed in the house and was very active in the house and would even move chess pieces and stuff like that and turn on TV, VCR. So I was interested in it. Then right around COVID time when they quarantined everybody, I became unemployed. At the time I was working at a auto repair shop, and I figured, well, I'll collect my unemployment and I'll get me some ghost equipment. I like to watch a few of the shows. I wanted to see what it was really about, what I could contact and everything else. So me, my brother's fiance, my niece Cassidy, and a few other people formed a little group, and they kind of spurted away and went their own ways because they couldn't get along and stuff. And then I met up with Shelby at Ace and met up with my friend Tank from school again, and we started in the group again, and it grew and became an interest of people, I guess.
We all got together, and the group that it is now is from 23.
Yeah.
When we really formed at Farrar School, actually.
Yeah.
Yep. That was our first big hunt kit with the whole group, pretty much.
You beat me to the punch. That was going to be a question as I was talking to you guys on the pre-interview. So, because I was going to ask, what was the first case as all of you together as a team that you are now? But let's talk about that location. What's going on there, or what went on?
So much.
I found out about the place because I was dating a girl in Maxwell, which is not 5 minutes from Farrar. And I parked one day in the parking lot of it, just sitting there thinking about stuff and everything, and we noticed some lights were on inside. Well, we didn't pay much attention, but we knew that the school had been abandoned and supposedly there was no electricity at the time in there. So then I told my cousin and his girlfriend about it because they were, of course, into watching the haunted shows and everything else too. And they were like, no way, we want to see it. So I drove up there and we're sitting in the parking lot and there's lights on. And then all of a sudden a cop car shows up. And he's like, what are you doing here? We were like, well, we noticed the lights were on in the building. I wanted to show them. And he's like, well, that's not possible because there's no electricity.
Oh.
And he was like, you guys leave, I'll check it out. So we left. The next day, I seen him at the local Casey's, and I asked him about it, and he didn't want to say no word about it at all. He looked at me with one of those concerned looks and walked out the door. And I was like, oh, I want to know more about the place. So
Of course, yeah.
we found out that it was an active place, and they were going to start doing ghost hunts in it, and that there was a lot of crazy stuff that went on way back when it was built that we think probably had a hand in it. Like there was a lot of the diseases like yellow fever and stuff going around that played a part in we think most of the haunting at the school.
Yeah, but you physically entered this school, correct?
Once we finally got the okay and the thing, which would have probably been, I went with the other group, well, the beginning group there, probably, I would say about 2 years before I took these guys, 2 or 3 years before I took these guys out there. And I was like, you guys got to see this place. It's amazing. These ghosts interact like they're your best friend. They want to show off. It was just like an adventure land of paranormal.
And what did it look like when you entered the building? Now, I've seen shows and I've seen pictures. Sometimes, depending on where you're at, of course, goes without saying. You'll see like little things of evidence of people trying to. I'm not gonna say having some sort of rituals, but you'll see graffiti. You might have seen things where people left beer cans or syringes, depending on what type of person goes in there. You see anything like that there?
Well, no, because by the time they had actually let people in to start ghost hunting there was a couple that decided to buy the place, and they actually lived on site in the building. And their names are the Olivers. And they were great people, everything else. But they started to charge for the paranormal because, of course, they knew living there very soon after they moved in that there was paranormal stuff going on, doors slamming. Nancy had actually almost fallen down the steps, and there was a spirit of a young boy that actually grabbed a hold of her and kept her from falling, that she told us about. So, all of that sparked our interest and everything else. And yeah, but they cleaned it up by that time to the point there was no needles, no nothing. It didn't look like anybody had been in there messing around. There was no graffiti. The only stuff that you seen was people's names that had been there for ghost investigations on all the chalkboards in the room, because that's what they allowed everybody to do. The hunt was write their names of their group or whoever on the chalkboards.
Anybody we know written their name there?
The Taps group, Ghost Hunters, they've been there. Ghost Adventures with Zach Baggins has been there. Let's see here. I believe the Ghost Brothers, Marcus and all of them had been there. They had it on a morning talk show in the news that it was haunted. They even had Slipknot go up there, and they were doing a video in there. Well, the spirits decided they turn all the sound all the way up on their sound equipment and almost blew the members of Slipknot's eardrums out.
My word. As if the concert wasn't loud enough already.
Yeah. I mean, so the ghost was like, oh yeah, well, we need it louder or something. I don't know.
It goes up to 11 on that one. Now, in touching some of these questions that we've had earlier, but this one in particular, when I was reading the bio, I think it's one of the more important questions here. Mostly interesting as well. You've encountered a lot of different types of spirits. Some nice, some not so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Some have messages. Some have warnings. Some may have threats. So what kinds have you encountered so far? Can you name one that really stuck with you the most?
Well, one for me, at Farrar, we had one that the shadow figure that's known to be at Farrar. I was there with some of the first group and family members, and I was like, I seen the shadow figure. I was like, Mom, there he is, right there. There he is. And over the spirit box, we got some rude message. Called us a CS, if you can figure out what that is.
Yeah, oh yeah, okay. Continue.
And well, yeah, but we've had ones that can hurt you. We've had ones that pop up right in front of your face. Shadow figures, full on body apparitions.
The REM pod playing mimicking.
Yeah, he had one at Farrar where he was doing all the beep, 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 doing all kinds of different lengths and beep sounds, and the REM pod would copy him, beep for beep.
Yeah, you can find that video on YouTube, by the way.
Yeah.
I was going to ask that very same question as a follow-up. And now, would any of these things keep you up at night? Some of these experiences?
Oh, I can't. After a hunt, I can't sleep. I can't. It won't let me sleep because my mind's just going over what just happened.
Yeah, like what you were saying earlier, you kind of got to take a little bit of a detox time and kind of relax, rebalance. I'm also an empath, so you feel that energy. I think you were speaking to the matter earlier of people just coming up to you and sharing their stories and stuff like that. Like that happens to me constantly, all the time. So much so that if I see somebody coming my way, I can tell if they're going to talk to me or not. Like, okay, here comes another one. Like I don't know. It is a strange phenomenon, but it's a lot of energy that we use to go through these spots. But like we said earlier, we're not known to run from anything scary. We go to it. So
by the time we leave, most of us are pretty drained of all of our energy.
It's a hard drive home sometimes.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Now, you mentioned something, and I don't like to laugh. It's not you. It's not nobody else. It's mostly me. Sometimes I can't control myself. When I see people run, when they're out there trying to capture the evidence that they're supposed to be capturing, they want to capture it, they see it or they hear it, they start running. I don't understand. Somebody help me out here.
It's just doing what you asked it to do. There's no reason to run from it. It didn't throw you around in that area, or anything else. 9 times out of 10, it's doing exactly what you want it and asked it to do.
And I think another thing to add is that, there's a lot of places that you go that kind of stuff will happen, but then I lost my train of thought. What were you talking about?
Running.
Oh yeah, the runners. That's what we were talking about. Sorry. I apologize. I think a lot of the reason why a lot of people run is because they kind of see this whole thing on the surface, but then when they get into it and they peel back a couple layers, now they got the equipment. Oh, okay. Now they're at the location. Okay. Now they ran into something real. Oh, boop. You know what I mean? And then they take off, fight or flight, and a lot of them are flight, unfortunately.
I had one. I was at Edinburgh Manor, and it was me and one of the old members from the group, a couple of the old members from the group, and it sounded like a buffet table tray. The heating pan thing had dropped on the ground right in front of us, and I immediately started laughing. The other persons that were there decided immediately to scream, yell no, and they were gone out the door.
I had to pull the old Scooby-Doo out of here.
Yep.
But in their defense, if it's dead quiet, something falls, it might startle me, But that's okay because that's going to weed out those who are serious who are not serious. And I'm not trying to be rude about these kind of things, but you've seen plenty. You've been out there, and so you know who's who, why they're there,
Mhm.
and the real purpose of why they're out here exploring and doing their research. Now, I'll move on to another location. I purposely did not do research into this, although I have heard it because I want to hear it straight from you guys. The Villisca Axe Murder House.
Mhm.
Just from the name itself, I already know what I'm in for, but what happened there?
Oh man, so what year was that? 1930s or 20s?
I think it was in the 30s, but I'm not sure.
I want to say I can't remember the exact date, but family of, what was it?
There was mom, dad,
3 kids.
3 kids, and 2 kids that were
staying
neighbors that were staying there.
They went to church, and when they got home from church, that put everybody to bed, and somebody hacked them all up with an axe overnight, and it got away. They think maybe it was somebody that came through on a train. There's actually a preacher that confessed to it, but then later on, what was it? The test that they give you for the lie detector test failed, or I don't know, something like that.
Inconclusive or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
like
he
that.
got away by any means, and for me personally, it was more just kind of a sad feeling than anything. It was that you can see the axe marks of him coming overhead in the ceiling there in the parents' bedroom, and you just get an overwhelming sense of sadness. Really, I did anyway.
Now, is this location one of the biggest locations in Iowa as far as this type of horrific incident?
I think it's as that type of incident. Yes, its popularity's bigger, but I honestly think that Farrar has a bigger turnout of investigators probably going through it than Villisca, and plus now that Colby and Zach own the Farrar school now, and there's a lot more equipment and everything else in there now, a lot of changes, so it's probably going to be boosted up more with more people there. But me myself, I didn't get much from Villisca. I got the sad feeling and being cold, but other than that, I got nothing at all from there.
And other than better well-known locations, because some of those have probably already been explored or researched hundreds of times, perhaps even thousands of times. And sometimes it takes that many times because things don't always pop up each time. You can be there for 12 hours, nothing happens. You can be there for 3 minutes, something could happen.
Right.
Are you also doing lesser known things? We're talking about, let's say, residential.
We've been to a few.
Yep.
He has a friend, and his friend and our friend and his sister's houses are both active, very active. So, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Everything is intelligent activity, not just what they call a residual.
Right.
It's more intelligent and will respond to you, will interact with you. It's pretty amazing. We've been to a few of them, and we've been to one that, like your old ex's sister or something, her house. We got told that there was bunches of stuff going on there, and we got there and we're there for a long time, and we got almost nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's hard to tell where to go and to find these places that are really active.
Can I give a quick graveyard roots tip to everybody out there?
Absolutely.
If somebody really wanted to get into this and they just wanted to start and just kind of even see if they like it, get yourself a flashlight that twists on and off. That's one of the easiest, most affordable pieces of equipment you could ever own is a flashlight, and it's got to twist on or off because that allows the spirits to do whatever they do. And if you turn it to where it's just barely off, then you got to find this sweet spot, and spirits will go all over it. You can communicate with them. They'll make them blink. Come on, come off, please, at command. So that's one thing you can do to kind of get into it and explore,
Yeah. Cheap voice recorder, simple stuff like your own feelings and intuition, little light up cat toys that are motion activated. Your simple little stuff that don't cost much can be your most valuable equipment.
Absolutely.
And I'm glad you guys brought this up. So let's say you guys choose a location. The team's getting ready to go out and do an investigation. But before you even choose the location, let's say all four of you get together. How does the team dynamic work? So like you said, we have a tech guy, we have a researcher, we have another person doing X, Y, Z. So if I go around the room, let's say all five of us are together, you're gonna give me a tour somewhere. We're gonna go explore.
Mm-hmm.
Who does what to get this prepared before you even go?
We just basically call each other up, and maybe the weekend before or something, we're like, hey, let's check out this place we've heard about, whatever, let's check it out. And then usually one or two of us it's usually either me or Tank might look up, kind of any history on the place. Sometimes Jim, sometimes Shelby. We all kind of help in and pitch out on basically every part of the hunt. There's no real set job for anybody, really. We get our equipment out, set it up, and see what we can get.
And you all decide finally to go out there, find a location. It's gonna be a fun question. What's on the tape deck on the way?
Depends on whose car we're driving.
I mean, with me, it'll probably be something more like the bus, 100.3 or KGGO with him. Tank, it'd probably be rap or something like that with bass and stuff like that. Shelby, I'm not sure what
I kind of listened to a little of everything, but I have had there was one time we went to a cemetery and I was the first one there, and my car started doing weird. It's got Bluetooth, so I started doing weird stuff with the Bluetooth, and it only played the 80s music on my playlist, 80s or older. And I was like, okay, somebody prefers a little Whitney Houston, a little, little Journey, I'm like, all right.
Well, that's the car I'm going to ride in. So
right.
Yep.
And then earlier it was mentioned that when I brought up the question, how does this affect you afterwards, where these spirits communicate with you, some friendly, some not so friendly. And when you leave, you have to decompress somehow. So how do you do that? Because I would assume if a shadow being or creature pops up in front of your face, something could be, let's just say it's aggressive. Not all is aggressive, I'm sure. How do you wind down afterwards?
Well, one of the first things we try to remember before we leave a spot is to, say, you must stay here. You cannot follow us. You may not attach to us, our equipment, anything that we are carrying. You must stay here and not follow. We try to remember to say that, other than that, for me, decompressing is just probably sitting there and going through the footage.
And so that's pretty much all of you do the same, kind of have the same ritual afterwards for decompression.
I mean, I may or may not have a few drinks and adult stuff like that.
Sometimes
it depends. Yeah,
it does call for a stiff drink afterwards.
Sometimes.
I mean, yeah, it can be a little bit much
for sure.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, it kind of eases the nerves a little bit, and because you gotta go back and watch or listen to what it is that you called that night. So you want to be prepared for the second go around really is listening for what you've heard. And I know you talked about that a lot of your evidence and a lot of your footage is found on Facebook. I'm sorry, on YouTube, also on Facebook as well, I'm sure.
Yep.
But what is the name of the channel on YouTube?
It should just be Graveyard Roots
Yeah.
Paranormal.
I think it is, yeah.
And we'll definitely put the link in the description of this episode once this releases, so the listeners can go ahead and check out what it is that you're doing. You've been putting a lot of hard work. You've been doing this for a long time. And 2026 got here so fast. I don't know how this. I'll say the older you get, the faster these times go by. Just the other day, it was 1999. Here we are, 2026. We're in February now, and I'm sure there are some locations you're looking to explore this coming year. So where are we going to be going?
February 28th, we have McInter Villa that's in Kansas City, or in Kansas. What is it? Atchison, Kansas.
Atchison, yeah.
And we're gonna stay the night there and check out this supposed to be a haunted hotel. So it's pretty cool. I've never done any hunting in Kansas. I mean, so I don't know what it's like there. We would love to go to some place like Gettysburg or something like that. Thinking maybe, I don't know, maybe, what's that asylum?
That they're talking about tearing down, or
Yeah, Penhurst.
Penhurst, yeah.
Something like that. Or I would even go as far as loving to go to a place like, there's a place called Allegheny Asylum or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, any place like that over in Ireland or something like that, the castles. Oh, I would be thrilled.
Well, eventually you'll go international. That's the plan there, it seems.
Absolutely.
I would hope.
And now for our friends and listeners of Let's Find Out, that let's say they live in your side of the tracks all the way in Iowa, and perhaps they're experiencing some sort of activity in their homes, in their building that they own, whether it's residential, commercial, or historical. How can they contact you?
Our names and our information should be on the channel.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure, but
It's definitely on YouTube for sure. We've got one business number, which I do operate.
Yep.
Now, granted, I'm not on there as much as I am, my regular work phone and things like that. But we do. That's one way to contact us. Also, email. Very simple. Kind of lengthy, but graveyardrootsparanormal@gmail.com. And then let's see, we're on TikTok. We are on Snapchat, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, I believe.
or if they know where Park Fair Ace Hardware is, they can always come in and
For sure.
and see me and talk to me there, and we can set up a time and go look at their place. Well, I mean, and we don't charge to come and look at people's houses. If they want to donate to the cause, they can. But yeah, we'll come. We'll check it out for you. And I mean, we can't tell you exactly what's there or who it is or whatnot unless they tell us. But we can let you know if it's active or not, truly active, or if it's just something that's residual passing through constantly, or what it is. We'll help as much as we can.
Definitely. And just a disclaimer, we don't ever, claim to be able to get rid of anything. It's more of a, hey, here's what you got going on type of deal.
We don't really have the hookups of having the people right now that are the paranormal psychics to the full extent, or the people that usher the ghosts away. We don't usually try to help them go away unless they ask us to help them to the light or something like that, and then we will. But Yeah, we're more in just to find out information and talk to them.
Sure, that makes sense. You're there to, they're asking, is there something going on? You kind of give them the best answer you can. Here's what we have. Here's what's possibly happening right now.
Mhm.
So that's also equally as important. And I'll close with this because I mentioned earlier that eventually I'm going to make my way to Iowa. We talked offline earlier.
Come up with us anytime you
That's
want.
why.
Definitely.
I might do that. I might definitely do that. We're out exploring, researching a location. It gets to be late. We're coming back on the drive. We talked about the music that's playing. Where's the best place to eat in your location in Iowa? And it cannot be Waffle House. Where are we going?
We don't have
I
it.
don't have a Waffle House.
Nope.
We're not that cool.
I tell you what, the best, in my opinion, the best place to come and get something to eat. If you're in Iowa, we're doing a hunt. Come back to. I don't know if it'll be open that late at night, but
True.
most of the time. But Prairie City. I mean, you've got Wilkie's Pizza. You've got Ariana's, which is a Mexican restaurant that is amazing food, amazing people,
Absolutely.
great atmosphere. You've got Goldie's, which is like
Number one tenderloin in
Number
the
one
state
tenderloin in
for I don't know how many years.
there's quite a few good places over in this area to eat. Now, whether you get more towards Des Moines and stuff like that, you've got IHOP and Perkins is not really the best.
Des Moines more
food, so-
mainstream.
Yeah, I mean, it's food and you eat it. So they got that going for them.
Yeah,
Right, exactly.
that's about it. It'll give you nutrition, but that's about it.
That's all right. You get what you pay for, is what they say. Now, I did lie. I got one more question. Them shirts, brother. I love them. Where can we purchase one of these shirts?
Absolutely.
Depend on which one you want. I don't know if you see you got the front view of it, but there's also ones like
Well, that's a
he's got one of our
merch shirt.
shirts. He's got a regular member shirt, but on the back of it says Papa Squat and Talk with Us, Ghost on the back in the graveyard and stuff like that. So we've got those two. I want to make another one where it's going to be a ghost with its hands across its thing that says, "If you don't talk to me, I'm going to lose my sheep."
That's cute.
So we're going to
That's
try to
perfect.
make that one. But
I think
yeah,
it's
if
gonna be one of those shirts.
you talk to Tank, we'll try to get you one made up or whatever. I think the only ones we got in black right now and in purple are
like small and
small and 3X.
extra super tiny.
All right. Perfect. And for those out there who would love a shirt, you can go ahead and either contact you through Facebook, Snapchat, or any of the social medias. You'll tell them how to get this wonderful merchandise, these t-shirts, and they'll also learn where you're going to be for the rest of 2026. And really, this has been a great conversation. Thank you so much for being on the show. And
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
oh, for sure. If you don't mind, I know that you'll be visiting dozens of locations this year. Would you mind coming back on the show and let's discuss what it is that you found?
Absolutely. Anytime
sure.
you want. Anytime you want.
Thank you, my friends.
Copyright Diego the Podcaster. All content for Let's Find Out is the property of Diego the Podcaster and is served directly from our servers with no modification, redirects, or rehosting. All celebrity impersonators are paid performers. The impersonated celebrities do not endorse or promote any views or opinions expressed by our guests, Diego the Podcaster, or Let's Find Out. The information shared on Let's Find Out with Diego is provided on an as-is basis, with no guarantees of completeness, accuracy, usefulness, or timeliness.